Welcome to Inside British Royals. This is your exclusive look inside the world's most famous family. We are exploring the scandals, secrets, and power plays that define the modern monarchy. If you are new here, please do well to hit that subscribe button for more updates. They were born princesses of the United Kingdom, granddaughters of a beloved queen. But now, through no fault of their own, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie are facing a future where their very birthright could be stripped away forever. As their father's scandal threatens to permanently stain their future, King Charles must make an impossible decision that could change their lives and the monarchy for good. The fairy tale has officially unraveled. Not long ago, the names York and Royal Princess brought to mind storybook weddings and quiet dedication. Today, they're tangled up in a scandal that led to the unprecedented arrest of a senior royal and now threatens the stability of the House of Windsor. The king has acted decisively against his brother, but the collateral damage now falls squarely on the shoulders of his two daughters. This is the story of their fight for a future and the tough decisions that lie ahead. Before the storm broke, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie were, in many ways, the royals people could relate to. Unlike their more senior cousins, they aren't working royals, meaning they don't perform official duties for the crown full-time. Instead, they built their own careers, started their own families, and chased their own charitable passions. Beatrice found her niche in the world of finance, while Eugenie established herself in the art world as a gallery director. Eugenie also co-founded the Anti-Slavery Collective, a charity dedicated to combating modern slavery. They both married for love, bringing their husbands, Edoardo Mapelli Mazzi and Jack Brooksbank, into the royal family without them taking on titles. They were seen as the perfect mix of royalty and reality. They'd show up for major royal events like Trooping the Colour and Christmas at Sandringham, showing their loyalty, but they still kept a sense of normalcy that the public seemed to appreciate. They were the Queen's granddaughters, yes, but they also had jobs and the same pressures of modern life. For a long time, they balanced this complex life with real grace, mostly avoiding controversy by focusing on their work and families. Their uncle, King Charles, was known to be fond of them, and it seemed their place in the family was secure. But that was before the shadow of their father's past grew so dark it threatened to eclipse everything they had built. The lives they had so carefully constructed were about to be put to the ultimate test. The name Prince Andrew, once associated with a naval career and his role as a trade envoy, is now synonymous with the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. The scandal, involving allegations of sexual assault that Andrew has repeatedly denied, ended with his own brother, King Charles, stripping him of his titles and honors. He is no longer His Royal Highness, no longer the Duke of York. He is simply Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. The fallout was swift and brutal. Andrew was forced to vacate his longtime home, Royal Lodge, a move he reportedly protested by saying, "I'm the Queen's second son, you can't do this to me." Then came the moment that truly shook the monarchy. On February 19, 2026, Andrew was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The arrest centers on allegations that he may have shared confidential government documents with Epstein while he was a UK trade representative. He became the first senior royal to be arrested in modern history. For Beatrice and Eugenie, the nightmare was just getting started. The release of millions of Epstein-related documents dragged the entire York family back into the spotlight. Emails and records placed both their father and mother, Sarah Ferguson, in communication with the convicted sex offender. Most painfully for the princesses, one email suggested they had joined their mother for a lunch with Epstein shortly after his release from prison. At the time of the alleged meeting, they were only 19 and 21, and there is no suggestion of any wrongdoing on their part. But nuance gets lost in the court of public opinion. The scandal had become a toxic cloud, and anyone associated with Andrew's name was at risk of being consumed by it. The sins of the father were now casting a long and devastating shadow over his daughters. With his brother in exile and under police investigation, King Charles faced a monumental decision. What was to become of Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie? The situation is a constitutional and personal minefield. Technically, the princesses' titles are secure. Their status comes from the 1917 Letters Patent, a decree issued by their great-great-grandfather, King George V. This rule automatically grants the title of prince or princess to the children of a monarch's sons. Since their father, Andrew, is a son of the late Queen Elizabeth II, Beatrice and Eugenie hold their titles all on their own. Their status isn't tied to their fathers. This is why their royal status remained unchanged when Andrew's titles were removed. But the monarchy doesn't operate in a vacuum. It survives on public perception, and the public is growing uneasy. Polls show a significant portion of the population believes the sisters are too tainted by the scandal to represent the royal family. This leaves King Charles in an impossible position. He is reportedly very fond of his nieces and believes they shouldn't have to pay for their father's alleged sins. There are even reports of a deal to preserve the daughters' titles in exchange for Andrew's quiet departure from Royal Lodge. At the same time, the king has a duty to the crown. He's the architect of a slimmed-down monarchy, an institution designed to be more modern and accountable. How do two non-working royals, whose family name is now mired in scandal, fit into that vision? Royal commentators have noted this is weighing heavily on the king. Every public appearance by Beatrice or Eugenie, no matter how well-intentioned, now risks raising questions about their father. The king has to balance his love for his family with his duty to protect the institution. So what happens now? For Beatrice and Eugenie, the path forward is anything but clear. They stand at a crossroads, forced to navigate a crisis that they didn't create. The first, and maybe most likely, option is that they just try to carry on. They could keep their HRH and princess titles, as is their birthright, but step back almost completely from public royal life. They would become, in essence, private citizens who just happen to be princesses. They would focus on their careers and families, hoping the storm passes. This approach isn't without risk, though. Public scrutiny is intense, and some have questioned the optics of Princess Eugenie's work with an anti-slavery charity, given the nature of her father's association with a convicted sex trafficker. A second, more drastic option would be for them to voluntarily give up their titles. This would be a powerful statement, a definitive break from the scandal that has engulfed their parents. Some argue it's the only way for them to truly forge their own paths. However, PR experts warn this could backfire, suggesting an admission of guilt and inviting even more scrutiny. The most severe outcome would be for King Charles to issue a new letters patent stripping them of their titles. While the king is said to be reluctant, the pressure to protect the monarchy's reputation is immense. The ongoing debate in Parliament about removing Andrew from the line of succession shows just how serious this is. While experts believe any such move would likely target only Andrew, the reputational damage could still make the princesses' positions untenable. Royal expert Hilary Fordwich says the sisters face an untenable choice of whether to salvage their own futures by creating distance from their toxic parents. It seems they might be taking different approaches. Eugenie has reportedly cut off contact with her father, while Beatrice is seen as trying to maintain private support. Through it all, they reportedly have the sympathy of the Prince and Princess of Wales. This crisis is forcing them to choose between family loyalty and self-preservation, a decision no daughter should ever have to make. The story of Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie has become a modern royal tragedy. They are two women who have tried to live their lives with dignity, only to be caught in the undertow of their father's catastrophic downfall. Their birthright, once a guarantee of privilege, is now a source of public debate and private pain. So, King Charles is left with an impossible choice. Does he protect his nieces, who are innocent victims in this crisis? Or does he take ruthless action to protect the crown from more scandal? The futures of two princesses hang in the balance, a stark reminder that in the royal world, one generation's actions can shatter the next. But what do you think? Is it fair for the princesses to lose their titles over a scandal that isn't their fault? If you were in King Charles's shoes, what would you do? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. For more royal commentary like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.